everybody, welcome to the show today. Guys, this is a big one. We are finally getting more firings, more arrests from the FBI thanks to Kash Patel rooting out the deep state. This is big. Kash Patel has already fired 10 deep state agents. And guys, this is just the beginning because again, we've got JD Vance, Dr. Oz, who have come out swinging and are 100% rooting out the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. This is a beautiful show today. The Clintons are doing their depositions. We've already had one allegedly huge lie from Hillary Clinton already recorded under oath. So much to go over today, guys. Big show for you today. Want to say again, FBI Director Kash Patel has already just fired last night 10 deep state agents involved in seizing the phone records of Kash Patel and non-White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles before the Trump began his second term. We also have JD Vance and Dr. Oz who have just announced that they are withholding almost $300 million in Medicare funds from the state of Minnesota due to fraud. They've stopped it. No more. They said a lot of people were getting rich off the American taxpayer. There are kids that need these autism services, and the money is not going to the kids. It's going to fraudsters in Minneapolis, and it stops now. This is what we voted for, guys. JD Vance, and I love this, guys, our vice president. Unlike Kamala Harris, who literally did nothing during her vice presidency, our vice president is leading the charge on getting America back in track because again, with a big victory of rooting out the fraud, waste, and abuse, this sets him up perfect for a 2028 presidential run to say we are going to continue to root out the deep state. Not only that, guys, you cannot make this stuff up. I'm going to show you the receipts. You're going to love it because we told you, all right, that CNN did a polling of President Trump's State of the Union for its watchers, and 64% approved and said it was a positive message. CBS poll dropped a bombshell polling and said that Americans absolutely loved President Trump's historic State of the Union with 75% of viewers approving. Guys, this is the turnaround. This is, I don't care what the left-wing media reporters and their analysts try to say. When we are literally polling Americans on these left-wing media outlets, the overwhelming super majority of Americans say Trump is on the right track. 75% of CBS viewers that CBS polled said they approved of Trump's State of the Union. Now that's big. And again, everybody's coming around. We have a huge coalition of sheriffs in Maryland that just came out and said that they are fed up with the Democrats' politics of protecting illegals and not wanting to work with ICE. The momentum is shifting. Maryland Sheriff Michael Lewis, Wicomico County, stated that Democrats are trying to ban police from working with ICE, and all this is a Democratic agenda, and they don't want it. Again, even from these blue states, people are fed up. Hillary Clinton under oath. Listen to this already, guys. We already got some big breaking news. Hillary Clinton under oath has said that she does not believe she ever met Jeffrey Epstein. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. Like one of Hillary Clinton's foundation's biggest donors, and she never met the guy? That's a big load of you know what. We also have it where former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers just resigned from his teaching position at Harvard because of the Jeffrey Epstein ties. President and CEO of the World Economic Forum, Boris Brende, has just resigned after the forum launched an independent investigation into his relationship with Epstein. So you see, guys, it's literally the elitist that are exposing themselves of resigning from their big positions, and nobody's been arrested yet. It's coming. It is coming. And we also have, this is big news, guys, because it's all about the fraud. It's all about the corrupt congressional leaders. House DOJ Chairman Representative Tim Burchett, our boy out of Tennessee, announces he's launching hearings to determine how many federal dollars were spent in the Congressional Slush Fund to pay off victims of sexual misconduct by members of Congress. I'm telling you, we're getting them, guys. We're rooting out the deep state, baby. And just want to say thank you so much, everybody who's watching, to all of our viewers, to all of our members. Thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you. We got a big show for you today. And I want to say thank you to all those that support our channel, those that give to our channel. We couldn't do it without you. We are 100% here to serve you. And whenever you donate, whenever you hit that subscribe button, you join our family, or you hit that like button, hit that thumbs up like button, this helps us out so much to bring the news, to bring the truth, to make sure that you see the receipts so that we get the truth out there. And I want to say thank you to everybody that supports and sharing our videos on X and Facebook, and to those that have given. Give some special love to our boy Alan Demeen. Show Alan some love in the chat. Mike Power, thank you so much. Aaron B424, thank you so much, brother. Our boy PDX67, Jim Barbato, thank you so much to Chris Prez and so many, Mr. Norby, that help support our channel. We appreciate you so much. And don't forget, everybody, because this is big, that we partnered with this company. You have the opportunity to reach out to Chapter. Guys, this is such a blessing, because remember, we literally show you the receipts. We have somebody who's literally saved almost $5,000 by calling Chapter, who commented on this channel, saved almost $5,000 in annual healthcare costs because they call Chapter, and it's free, everybody. It's a free service to you. So call them up, 667-895-3015. The number's at the bottom of the screen as well as in the description. You're going to get taken care of. You're going to be blessed, guys. I'm telling you. We've got so much good news today. So much is happening. But what I love is that the VP is leading the charge. You know things are about to change, guys. Check this out.
Everybody, so let me say a couple things about what we're announcing today, and then I'm going to kick over to Dr. Oz, and then we are going to take a few questions. So, as a lot of you know, there are way too many Americans who are being defrauded by very bad actors in our society, people who take the goodwill and the trust of the American taxpayer and they decide to use it against us. They decide to make themselves rich instead of allowing these programs that are set up to make it easier for people to take care of their families, to make it easier for autistic kids to get the after-school services they need, to make it easier for people to get the health care that they need. And we are going to start very aggressively in the administration cracking down on the people and the organizations that are defrauding Americans. So we're announcing today that we have decided to temporarily halt certain amounts of Medicaid funding that are going to the state of Minnesota in order to ensure that the state of Minnesota takes its obligations seriously to be good stewards of the American people's tax money. Now, what is this going to mean? What this means is that, first of all, the providers on the ground in Minnesota have actually already been paid. The state has paid those providers the money. What we're doing is we are stopping the federal payments that will go to the state government until the state government takes its obligations seriously to stop the fraud that's being perpetrated against the American taxpayer. There are a few different ways that we're doing that. There are a few different affirmative actions that we're taking today. Dr. Oz is going to talk about those, but let me talk a little bit about the spirit of this and why we're doing it. So number one of the examples of fraud that we've seen in Minnesota that we verified that is just awful is that a program that existed to ensure that autistic children had access to some after-school services has made a number of people rich, not by providing services to needy children, but by allowing fraudsters to take money that ought by right go to American citizens and to American families, and to set up sham businesses, set up sham clients, set up people who are not even autistic but claim to be autistic in order that they benefit from the money that's out there. Now, what does that mean? Number one, it means that a lot of people are getting rich off the generosity of American taxpayers, but more fundamentally and more importantly than that, it means that there are kids in Minnesota who deserve these services, who need these services, and they're not going to those kids, they're going to fraudsters in Minneapolis. That is unacceptable. And
right here, everybody, what you just heard, this huge bombshell news. They're starting to truly hold back the money. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, because I'm telling you, we have got to get this news out there. I don't want any dang Democrat to tell me that the dang majority of the United States does not approve of President Trump's agenda. You are looking at a CBS, not Fox, not Newsmax, not any right-leaning outlet, a left-leaning outlet, CBS News poll that is showing you that among the viewers, the people approved 75%, a super majority of the viewers on CBS approved of President Trump's State of the Union. They approve of what J.D. Vance is doing. They approve of what Dr. Oz is doing, rooting out the fraud, waste, and abuse. And a lot of people don't even know this, but people need to see that, guess what? Trump is trying to unify the country, and it is working. Doesn't matter that the Congress of Democratic congressional leaders don't want to approve of Trump. American people, we the people, are approving of Trump. I told you I'll bring the receipts, guys. You want to see how people feel about just a couple of things that how the Democrats said? And this is coming, again, from all walks of life. This is what people need to see because this is what changes votes. Common sense. Check this out.
The way I viewed it last night watching it is that they gave a middle finger to the oath of office that they took. In fact, their new oath of office is oppose Trump. On anything, on any situation, the one thing that they seem to want to come together on is to oppose Trump. Trump could find a cure for cancer and they would find a reason to disagree with it. Yeah. And I don't know if that is just their strategy to get them through the midterm or whatever, but I think that if it's just about opposing Trump, I don't think that the people that elected them sent them there to do that. Number one, it is about the American people first. You got to take care of home. You got to take care of your family before you can take care of or try to help to take care of someone else's.
So I'm telling you guys, I feel we're shifting. And right here, like the stuff that's happening, House Doge Chairman Representative Tim Burchett has announced that he is launching hearings to determine how many federal dollars were spent on the Congressional Slush Fund to pay off victims of sexual misconduct by members of Congress. We are rooting out the deep state. We're cutting off the root. We're cutting off the slush funds. Guys, this is some of the best news we've ever shown you because, again, we've known that it's happened. We've known they've spent over $100 million on these sexual harassment cases to make them just hush up, don't say nothing. So that's whenever I show you this stuff right here. I bring the receipts. We bring context that what we are doing is happening across the board and people approve of it. Again, you cannot deny this, guys. 75% of viewers approve of Trump's agenda on a left-wing outlet. That's what we wanted. That's unifying the country. And I don't care what any of those dang Democrats say.
That's the sort of thing that we're cutting off with this action today. Let me make one final point about the spirit of this. You know, one of the things I love about our country is that we're a generous country. We're a generous people. We take care of our fellow citizens who can't afford medical care because they're down on their luck. We take care of people who can't afford to put food on the table, even though they work hard and play by the rules. We recognize that we're all in this together, and part of the reason why we have Medicaid, or part of the reason why we have food stamps, part of the reason why we have these programs is we want to make sure that kids who grew up in families not all that different from the family that I grew up in, that they have access to the basic necessities: food, medical care, after-school services when their family needs them but they're unable to pay. What's happening in Minneapolis, in California, in a number of states all across our country is that the generosity and the good hearts of our fellow Americans are being taken advantage of. We're taking that social contract that says that our American citizens, we take care of one another, and we're allowing a few bad actors to get rich off that generosity of spirit instead of providing the services to the kids who need it. This is disgraceful. It has happened for too long. Far too many people have gotten rich by taking what is the best of the American spirit and getting rich off of it instead of providing services to kids who need it. That is stopping today. We're taking a whole of government approach in the Trump administration to take this fraud seriously. What Mehmet Oz and his team at CMS have done is really remarkable, and it's just the first step of our efforts. So without further ado.
You heard him, everybody. First step. This is the first step. We are going to get our country back. We are going to make sure that we expose every single dang person, and I don't even care to call them Democrats. Any person that opposes America First policy. The White House issued a video and said, imagine refusing to stand for Americans over illegals, voter ID, lowest murder rate in 125 years, ending fraud and waste and abuse, angel families, tough on crime policies, no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security, crushing fentanyl and secure border. That's exactly what Democrats refuse to stand for. Tells you everything. Remember how I told you that they were going to start blasting a video over what happened, and just it was going to be the focal point of us winning the midterms over what the Democrats sat down on? I already told you it's only been about 48 hours, and we've already got the video coming from the White House. Check this out.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Republicans, Democrats. Look at that. I told you guys.
These people are crazy.
I told you. That is like the winning statement right there. You cannot win when you oppose common sense policies. And I told you guys, Thune is, to me, he's all talk right now. Right now, the Senate Majority Leader John Thune explained that senators don't have time to debate and vote on the SAVE Act, right? He said that, but yet he's allowing for the senators to be out there, and they're having a dog race, a congressional dog race. Look at this, where they're putting in their dogs and doing this at Congress. They got time for this to do it in the Hart Senate office building, but they ain't got time. They're doing this literally today, but they ain't got time to vote on the SAVE Act. This is, again, a joke, guys. I'm telling you, we show you everybody. I don't care if they're Republicans. I care that people are serving we the people. Senator Tom Tillis participated in the dog parade featuring the dogs of Congress. Tell me, where's the dang priority to put the SAVE Act in place? Thank you so much, Richard, for the 5 gifted memberships. Brother, we appreciate you so much. Show Richard some love in the chat, everybody. If you got a free membership from Richard, let's go. And thank you so much to our boy Thomas Brewer, OG of the fam. Let's go. Said, show all the liars. I like you helping the unfortunate with our donations, plus your giving. Amen. Show our boy Thomas Brewer, OG of the fam, member of the channel, some love in the chat, as well as our boy PDX67. Richard, I'm telling you, all the stuff that we're bringing today, guys, is just continuously. I want to bring a ton of receipts. We got a ton of receipts to show you today over, they tell us one thing, but yet they're doing another. So some more stuff that's happening behind the scenes. I told you, we got you the receipts.
John Solomon, talk about scary. Well, actually, I'm feeling better, Solomon, now that you're on the case. Give us the perspective and break it, because listen, you know, as you saw, President Trump, this is a super high priority for him to get to the bottom of this. The mainstream media is going nuts again today. Where do we stand in the takedown of the deep state, sir?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm pretty sure that President Trump must be watching your show, because he picked up on the line that we had Patriots versus Hatriots yesterday. He just socialized that a few minutes ago. So, you know, I think he feels good about where he is with the American people.
Hold it, hang on. Hold it. Did you trademark that in the middle of the night? I asked Solomon during our broadcast, I said, what he said? He said, simple, patriots versus hatriots. I said, somebody copyright that.
You know, I just love seeing it. If you identify as a patriot, put it in the chat, put it in the comments, everybody. Hashtag patriot. I'll start us off. Hashtag patriot, because that means a lot. Put it in the chat, put it in the comments. Hashtag patriot. I love it. It makes me happy because that's what we all should be. Donna Starino, let's go. Show Donna Starino some love in the chat for the super chat. We appreciate you so much, Donna. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
He just socialized that, so he's watching the show, buddy. He's got to be watching your show, which is great. Listen, he set the fulcrum. He set the argument for the race in 2026. And every Republican now knows exactly how much stakes they can win this race. And you can see even in the leftist press and the traditional media that they realize that Donald Trump won the week, won the year, maybe, on that speech, because he has now focused the Republicans like Glenn Youngkin focused on parents' rights in 2021. The 2026 race is set. The Democrats can't change the terms anymore. That's important. Now what has to happen are three things. One, the rest of the agenda has to be delivered. The election integrity issues have to be resolved. They're important just for confidence, if nothing else. And I think next week will be an important week in moving the election integrity debate to some new facts and then some new solutions and get the Senate done. Get that another bill through the Senate, a minibus bill that gets the rest of the agenda that the president wants today, the $1,000 matching grant for 401ks, and then have the spring and summer, when Congress never does anything anyways, be dominated by accountability, which will come out of the Florida grand jury and maybe some other places. I saw some evidence yesterday that the Justice Department was stirring on this Fani Willis story. And so let's bring everybody up to speed. Yesterday, we told you that new documents we got showed that Fani Willis was working secretly behind the scenes with the Biden Justice Department, the Biden White House, and the J6 Democrats to create a double jeopardy, double drain on Donald Trump's supporters by creating a similar indictment to Jack Smith, but in Georgia, to move resources and lawyers and attention span and divide it. We're supposed to have a justice system that avoids double jeopardy, but in this case, you can see the plot being created by these lawyers and by the collaboration. Today, we raise a question, or we provide some evidence to a question that Jim Jordan raised about a year ago, the House Judiciary Committee chairman. He believed that Fani Willis's prosecution of Trump was being underwritten by the Justice Department because he saw a stream of funding. What we see, what we've provided to the public.
Did you hear that? They saw a stream of funding. So this is, again, when we've talked about the deep state, everybody, when we talk about all this being orchestrated, it's intentional. These are the key words that I always try to, make and put on a pedestal, because they say them so quickly, sometimes you can miss it. When they talk about a stream of funding going to Fani Willis to go after President Trump, this is where I've told you time and time again, people are paid off. You want to know how people are paid off? This literally came out like a couple minutes ago, but this is from the leading report, very reputable. Senator Chuck Schumer is now calling for path to citizenship for 11 million illegal immigrants already in the United States. Not the ones that came over for the past 4 years, the 20 plus million. No, for the ones that are already here in the United States. We know that there is about 52 million non-citizens and illegals in the United States, okay? Whether they're on immigration visa, work visa, H-1B1, there's about 52 million. This dude, Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader of the Senate for the Democrats, has just called for mass amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants that are already here. Don't tell me they're not going to try to nuke the filibuster and they're not going to try to get this done if they win the midterms. They'll figure it out. I'm telling you, and that's why we've got to get our voter ID in check so that we can win the right way.
Is an unusual situation. In the middle of Fani Willis building her case against Donald Trump and 18 of his allies to charge them with conspiracy and racketeering in Georgia to double up on what Jack Smith charged in Washington, the Justice Department comes to Fani Willis and says, hey, we just want you to apply for this grant, and we're going to take this grant, which is normally competitive. We're going to make it non-competitive. Basically, you're the only one that's going to get the money. Just fill out the paperwork and take your cash, about $2 million. It's that classic Washington grant, go help kids, not really much specificity. But they move it from competitive to sole source, meaning it's wired just for her. It looks like the old Boss Hogg way of doing business or Tammany Hall way of doing business. And I think for Jim Jordan or Barry Loudermilk, who was on our show last night investigating January 6th from the Judiciary Committee, this is a pretty serious issue for them to investigate. This looks like a gift grant to Fani Willis while she's doing the bidding of Joe Biden.
You hear this?
To pursue and tie down Donald Trump and his friends in a criminal prosecution in Atlanta. It looks just like Tammany Hall, Chicago-style politics. And there's now a complete body of documents for Congress to look at this. It's a pretty clear case of what's going on.
Wow.
So hang on. I know you got to bounce, but there's evidence coming out that they were after you for years, right? Trying to smear you, trying to stop you. Navarro went to prison. I went to prison. Tom Barrack, he was put into a federal lockup for 4 weeks. They tried to send him to prison forever. President Trump. Axios reporting Susie Wiles she's like shocked that they went after her phone records, and Cash just fired 10 FBI guys. How is this coming as a surprise to people now in February of 2026? And Cash is finally getting cashier 10 guys. Can we get to the records there that shows that like immediately? And we now.
And I told you guys again, Kash Patel, we announced it earlier in the show, has fired 10 deep state agents within the FBI they were 100% in on it of going after Kash Patel and Susie Wiles before Trump's second term. So he's, again, rooting out the deep state. I love the firings. I love the arrests that are coming because we're seeing it more and more often. Like, guys, the stuff that I'm seeing on my side, it is looking very good that people are being caught. We're finding money trails, and the more common sense that gets dropped from people across the board. And the reason I show you this guy is because, again, he is and he will be a Democratic primary presidential contender. Even though he's been a sportscaster his entire life, he has a big following right now. And the stuff that he is saying is so common sense that people are just really liking him. I'm seeing all the polls. They're really liking Stephen A. Listen to this, because he's saying the part that is not only appealing to some independents, but also to some Republicans coming from the Democratic side. Listen to this.
Yeah, you're talking about the border. Yeah, the border needed to be closed, but that was because Biden opened it. If Biden had it opened and followed Obama, who deported more people than Trump did, in Obama's term in office, over 3.1 million people were deported. How come you didn't follow that, Joe Biden? How come you didn't follow that, Democrats? How come it was okay to celebrate ICE at that particular time when when Obama was in office, and you had networks literally traveling with ICE to show you the marvelous work that they were doing, but suddenly Trump is doing it, and now it's a pariah, and ICE needs to go, and it needs to be completely banned. Why are sanctuary cities existing? Why is that? Why do you get to, implement laws that could get you to ignore federal laws? How is that? How does that benefit our country? I'm saying to ask ourselves.
I'm telling you, everybody, this type of speech is so down to earth, so common sense. He is gaining in a lot of the polls. What I love, though, is, again, with J.D. Vance leading the charge on the fraud, waste, and abuse, we've got this left-leaning news outlet saying that 75% of their watchers approved of Donald Trump's speech. I don't want to hear it, Democrats. you're on the wrong side of history. Guys, if you love what you're seeing, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, and thank you so much to Ruby Bunch. Thank you so much for your support. And we'll say, Ruby Bunch, like, into a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff about Bannon. Trust me, I see it. But what I do love is that he is connected to people like Mike Davis, John Solomon, a lot of senators. That's, if you notice, that's who's 95% of the time speaking, because I want you to see their insight. It is very hard to get the insight of some of these people that are on the deep inside unless you're connected. Trust me, we'll get there. But right now, we got to pull some clips. But thank you so much for all your support. Remember, we're here to bring you the breaking news, the inside scoop every single day. We literally build our show every single morning on the most breaking news, because that to me is the best service to you, to give you the most breaking news. I want to show you this too, because again, who is going to be leading. Okay, so you've got J.D. Vance, who's going to be leading the charge with Dr. Oz on rooting out the Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. Let me pull this over. But there is the DOJ side of it, the U.S. Attorney side of it, all right? So right here, you're seeing it. Vance and Oz announced the first Medicaid funding halt in Minnesota. Well, now they've got to bring in and they got to vote in the person who's going to be leading the charge for prosecuting all and arresting all these people. That guy is, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is McDonald. So now he's being, Colin McDonald. Yes, he's being questioned to be voted on to get his position in the DOJ so that way he can prosecute them all. So you're getting to see the full scope of what's going on. Check this out.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Council, congratulations on your nomination. What kind of fraud are you going to go after?
Senator, the core that I would say that we're going to go after within this division initially as we build out will be taxpayer-funded programs such as Medicaid, such as the SNAP program, and other subsidiary HHS, USDA, et cetera, programs. We will be putting our view there.
Who's going to make the decision about which of these specific types of fraud you go after?
Senator, in the course of building out investigations, we work directly with the federal investigators.
Who's going to make the decision about which specific types of fraud you go after?
Senator, with respect to this role, I believe I will be working with the Deputy Attorney General and the Attorney General to figure out how we prioritize this mountain of fraud.
So it's you, the Deputy Attorney General, and the Attorney General?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. So if you've got 10 cases of clear fraud, you and the deputy and the Attorney General will sit down and decide which ones to prosecute and prioritize?
Well, Senator, when it comes to the case level, that work happens within our line AUSAs.
Counselor, I got 5 minutes. No disrespect. You're a good guy. Answer my question.
At the programmatic level and as we build out the division, those decisions will be made with the Deputy Attorney General and the Attorney General. With respect to specific case questions.
Do you already have cases in mind?
I do not have cases in mind, Senator.
Okay. So suppose we can agree, I think that the federal taxpayers, American taxpayers, put up between 50 and 90% of the money in the Medicaid program. States love it. Let's suppose that you have a governor who knows there's fraud in his Medicaid program, but he ignores it because he would lose all this federal money. Is that fraud?
Senator, I think that's a form of fraud, waste, and abuse. Whether it fits within the contours of criminal culpability.
Is that the sort of thing you're going to look at?
Senator, as referenced earlier, we will be looking at the full scope of fraud.
Answer
in
my
these-
question, Counselor. Is that the sort of thing you're going to look at?
Senator,
Yes or no?
I do plan to look at the full range of potentially criminally
All right,
culpable
let's
actors.
suppose, are you,
Please let me know in the comments, everybody. How come every single dang person that, whether they're on the Republican side or the Democratic side, can literally not answer a dang question? I don't understand this. Yes, I will look at all the types of fraud. If there is fraud dealing with people that have overlooked it or didn't do it the right way, yes, we will go after their butts. Let me know your thoughts, because again, do you think this guy is going to be the guy to go after and make things happen? Because he's getting the top position in the DOJ to literally target fraud, waste, and abuse.
familiar with an inspector general?
Yes,
I'm sure
Senator.
you are, because you're a good lawyer. Let's suppose, and you're aware, I'm sure, that inspectors general act independently of a cabinet secretary. Cabinet secretary under the law, I think it's 5 USC section 417, can only overrule an inspector general if what that inspector general is doing is dramatically hurts the U.S. interests or some sort of pretty language like that. Let's suppose an inspector general comes in and cabinet secretary or senior official says to an inspector general, I want to know what cases you're investigating. And you have to tell me. And if any of them are going to impact me in terms of my reputation, I'm going to pull you off of them. Is that fraud?
Senator, I would see that as a form of conflict of interest to the extent that that'll look bad for the cabinet secretary.
I know that. Is that the sort of thing you're going to get involved in?
Senator, I will be focused on criminal prosecutions. That will be my focus in identifying fraudsters operating, taking money.
Let's suppose the Census Bureau tells you that 11% of the American people are poor, and we get to decide the definition. But we're going to exclude about 80% of the federal benefits that we give to folks in determining this 11%. So that instead of 11%, we really have only 1% of the American people that are below the poverty level. Is that fraud? Is it fraud if a cabinet secretary knows that and doesn't do anything about it?
Senator, there are a range of criminal tools that the Department of Justice can bring to bear.
Is that fraud?
Fraud in the classic sense of executing a scheme to defraud a government program, probably not.
Is it right?
No, it is not
Is it
right.
moral?
No, it is not, Senator.
Is it ethical?
Senator.
Does not seem ethical to me, Senator.
Thank you for your
Ronald.
indulgence, Mr. Chairman.
I'm telling you guys, this is why we show you this stuff, because I don't care if they're red. I don't care if they're Republican. I care for right, and I know a lot of you do too. That's why the stuff that's going on, we expose and we show everybody. Sounded a lot like Pam Bondi. Honestly, that's my take. Let me know your take in. A lot of people don't like him. Yeah, literally, somebody just said, Irish70A said, I think Bondi picked him. Sounds a lot like Bondi. Like, just can't really just stick it, you know? But I wanted to again remind you, House DOJ Chairman Representative Tim Burchett has announced he's launching hearings to determine how many federal dollars were spent in the Congressional Slush Fund to pay off victims of sexual misconduct by members of Congress. We're coming for them, everybody. We are dang coming for them. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, because we got even more, because we got our boy Josh Hawley who's getting into it. But before we get into that, I want you to see this. We partnered with this company, Chapter, everybody, and this is a company that helps those out that are on Medicare find the best plan available for them out of the 24,000 plans. And what I love is that, again, it's not just me. It's you. This is a free service to you. Their number is 667-895-3015. We have this user who literally posted and said, I just called Chapter. I saved over $400 a month. Guys, that's almost $5,000 a year. Thanks to Jesus and you, Joel. God bless you. This is what we want for everybody. We want everybody to save as much money as possible, to keep more of your hard-earned money, and to be taken care of. And that's why we partnered with this company, Chapter. Again, they compare every single Medicare plan out there, all over 24,000. And it's free. What do you have to lose? Call them up, get that blessing. The number is 667-895-3015. I told you I'll show you receipts. I love showing you these clips of people that post the comments because that's real people. It's real people who are getting blessed. Thank you so much, Jim Barbato, for the super chat. Let's go. Show our boy Jim some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. I do want to show you this because, again, this just adds on to the fact that Trump, all these left-wing media outlets, just like I showed you right here, they are losing their base. They are losing their leaders don't even know what the heck they want anymore. They're not representing we the people. So you see here, CBS News poll, 75% approve of Trump's speech. Well, now check this out, because this is coming straight from our friends at CNN.
Take advantage on this issue. And a look at the polling suggests actually, no, they're in a worse position than they were at this point during Donald Trump's first term. Take a look here. Trust which party more on immigration. In 2018, Democrats had an edge of about 6 points. You come over to this side of the screen now, look at that. Republicans are the ones who actually have an edge on immigration. So this whole idea that Democrats are going to be able to take advantage of the immigration group, of the immigration issue, actually doesn't bear itself out in the polling, despite everything that's been going on. In fact, Democrats are in worse position than they were during Donald Trump's first term.
Yeah, maybe that they don't like what Donald Trump, the president, is doing, but they don't think Democrats will do a better job.
Correct. They think Democrats will do a worse job on immigration than Republicans.
All right, what about border security in general?
Okay, border security in general. So this is immigration at large. What about border security? Look at this. Look at these numbers. Hello, party trusted more in border security. Again, at this point in Trump's terms, look at this. In 2018, Republicans had a 13-point advantage. If anything, the advantage is a little bit larger now. Republicans up by 15 points. So when you put it all together, you put immigration with border security and the idea that Democrats will be able to take the ball and run away on it, the polling data suggests no. This is actually an issue that Republicans should be more comfortable running on than Democrats. Democrats running on immigration may actually be to the Republicans' advantage.
I told you, everybody, like, it's crazy to see how much that the left-wing media is just constantly on the wrong side of history. So I want to go back and I want to pull this up too, because this is good stuff, guys. We are getting to see, we have to have the right person who's going to be prosecuting the fraud, waste, and abuse. It matters. And making sure that you get to see the receipts. Oh, sorry, I pulled up the wrong one, guys. Just one moment. This person is going to be in charge of going after all these fraudsters. And if they can't get past our own GOP MAGA people in the Senate, they don't need that position. That's just my thoughts. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Thank you so much, Jim Barbato, Martin Gonzalez, White Mike Reacts. Let's go. Member of the fam. The media is losing is the narrative 100%, because channels like ours and so many others, people are seeing the receipts. Stuff that you don't see on mainstream media.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. McDonald, congratulations on your nomination. It comes not a moment too soon. Yet 2 weeks ago, the CEO of LexisNexis told me under oath that the federal government, according to their estimates, to their own expert research, loses $1 trillion per year to fraud. $1 trillion. A That's more than the entire defense budget for this year. A more conservative estimate, the GAO's estimate, is that the federal government loses about $521 billion to fraud every year. That's about the budget of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Either way, we're talking about just enormous amounts. Of course, we've seen it on display in states recently like Minnesota. And my question to you is, are we going to see some more accountability coming for the fraud that has been perpetrated on this country, particularly in places like Minnesota? I mean, is accountability coming?
Senator, our goal will be to bring accountability. It will not be easy, but we will work tirelessly to bring that accountability to ensure that the fraud that we are seeing annually is erased.
Let me just give you one example of the kind of accountability I think we need to see. The Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, was in front of a committee of mine, and under oath, I would just say, just a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Ellison is right at the center of the scandal, the Somali fraud scandal that has rocked that state. Just to take one piece of it, a group called Feeding Our Future, as you probably know, defrauded the federal government of at least $250 million. $250 million that did not go to feed the homeless. It did not go to feed the poor. It did not go to feed children. Instead, it bought yachts. It bought luxury planes. It bought fancy vacations. It was smuggled out of the Minneapolis airport in suitcases. 12,000 pounds of $100 bills smuggled out of the Minneapolis airport in suitcases, for heaven's sake. 60 people, I think, have been charged with wrongdoing as part of this corruption scheme. But here's the deal. The leaders of this organization, this fraud outfit, came and met with the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, directly. They talked to him for 54 minutes. This was back in 2021, and complained to him that they were being investigated, heaven forbid. And he offered to help them. They repeatedly offered him campaign contributions, and we know this because they recorded the meeting. 54 minutes of recording that we have, because the fraudsters recorded the meeting. Ellison tried to deny it. It's all on tape. They offer him money repeatedly, and he says things like this. I think we may have a poster of it. He says, we are in the middle of the battle with agencies now who are investigating them. He says, he's the Attorney General of the state. He says, Waltz, meaning the governor, agrees with me that this piddly, stupid stuff running small people out of business is terrible. Piddly, stupid stuff, meaning investigation for mass fraud. He goes on to say, just to be able to say, just getting the question, just getting the inquiry from the Attorney General is sometimes enough to make people knock it off. In other words, he offered repeatedly to help them get rid of the investigations that were ongoing into this group. Even as they were sitting there, he said to them, I am directing my staff right now to intervene on your behalf. And then just days after he met with them, he took $10,000 in campaign contributions, including from individuals who were indicted by the federal government for fraud. He's been charged with nothing. And in fact, he sat where you're sitting under oath, and he denied to me he took any money at all. I've got it right here. It's in his own campaign finance reports. $10,000, including from indicted individuals and others who are associated with this group, members of this group, that defrauded the federal government of $250 million. My question to you is, are we going to see accountability for people like that? Are we going to see heads roll for people who are in the middle of this fraud and enabled it and protected the fraudsters and defended it and used their office in order to help people get away with crimes?
Senator, first, that is certainly not how law enforcement is supposed to work. When there is evidence and when investigators are digging into potential crime, to then have lead law enforcement try to close up that shop and turn away the investigators. That's not how law enforcement is supposed to work, and it's certainly not how law enforcement is going to work in the Department of Justice and in the National Fraud Enforcement Division. We will be, the vision that we have is a division that is large enough where no fraud is too big and no fraud is too small, so that we can reach all actors within the chain of criminal culpability, and no one more than that, only those within the chain of criminal culpability. Those are the ones that we are going to be looking after, investigating, and following the facts without fear or favor.
Good. I think that's absolutely vital. I think it's long overdue. You said that no fraud is too big or too small. I hope that will also mean that no elected official is too big or too small, because those who helped enable this fraud, those who stopped investigations, they should be prosecuted too. If we don't get accountability, as you know, Mr. McDonald, this will never stop, and we need accountability now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I want to show you again, everybody, because this is the stuff that I see. And let me know if you agree with me or not. The difference between Kennedy interviewing him, asking him questions, but versus Hawley. Hawley spent too much time saying stuff that we already knew, if that makes sense. He should have said, this guy Ellison, he is a top prosecutor. What do you have already, or what can you say? Like, we need to go after top officials. Top Democratic officials. We need to set the standard. We need to make an example of the fraud, waste, and abuse. That's what I felt Kennedy was trying to do. Not Josh Hawley. He took too much time telling us about this and said, are you going to prosecute it? And the guy gave just some general answer. So that's just my take on it, but that's how I see things. You got to get them. If you can't make your own people kind of like stand up for and truly say what is right, then to me, give that time to somebody else. We don't need general answers. We need, you are going to do something and I can hold you accountable to it. Because people in Congress, people at the, it seems like nobody ever gets held accountable. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. I wanted to show you again that this is what's happening today. Leader John Thune explained that senators don't have the time to debate and vote on the SAVE Act. But for example, today, we would have been a problem because Senator Tom Tillis had to participate in a dog parade at the Hart Senate office building featuring the dogs of Congress. Here's the video. So this is, again, instead of them getting the SAVE Act done, debating, filibustering, we've got to have a dog parade because obviously that's the priority of the American people. And that's where we got to make sure that we show people how important dogs are to us. And I mean, not really the voter ID, but it's got to be about the dogs, right? It's got to be about the dogs. This is the stuff that gets to me. And I want to show you what the updated news is from our boy, Mike Lee, who's one of the main ones leading the charge in the Senate against Thune to get us the dang SAVE Act passed. Hey, and you know what? Go ahead and put this. If you believe it, if you're with me, hashtag fire Thune. I'm going to start it off, guys. Hashtag fire Thune. That's because it doesn't seem like they want it. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. From everything that I've seen.
Before I left, one of the good guys up on the Hill, Senator Mike Lee from Utah. Senator Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be with you.
You have been an absolute champion for liberty, and one of the things you've been most vocal on, recently, is the SAVE Act, an act to implement basic voter protections for free and fair elections in the United States, would implement voter ID. A lot of people know what voter ID is, obviously, but I would like you to tell the audience, being an expert on this, what this act isn't. There are a lot of rumors out there, Senator, from the left-wing media lunatics that married women won't be able to vote and all of this other stuff. Can you just correct the record on what this does and what it doesn't do?
Yeah, the Save America Act is all about two things. We're going to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. The Democrats are just fine with the first half of the equation. They're not okay with the second half. What it requires is you have to show that you are a U.S. citizen at the time you register to vote. It is, in fact, illegal to vote as a non-citizen. And secondly, it requires that at the time that you show up to vote, you have to produce a photo ID to show that you are the person you claim to be, the same person on your voter registration file. Now, we make this phenomenally easy to do under the Save America Act. It's already a requirement in the law. Every time any American starts a new job as a new employee with a new employer, they have to fill out a form called the I-9. And if you are an American, you've got to establish proof of citizenship at the time you start that new job. To do that, you've got to either produce a U.S. passport, or alternatively, if you don't have a passport, which a lot of people don't, you can produce a birth certificate and a social security card and a government-issued photo ID, and that will suffice. The Save America Act makes it even easier than that. Let's say if you're someone who, I don't know, maybe your house burned down and you lost all those documents, or maybe for some reason you never had them. There are other ways you can do it through an affidavit, and you put the burden then on the state doing the voter registration to track all that down for you.
The reason that I'm showing you this, everybody, is because, again, this is what's actually in the bill. This is what actually is being proposed. And this is just showing you, when you hear things on the left-wing media, you have to know the context. And what Senator Mike Lee is saying is, again, if we do this, the Democrats are so scared right now. You even had Kamala Harris come out and say that 40 million Americans won't be able to vote because they don't have a passport or their birth certificate, and they lost their something. It doesn't matter. Like, if we don't do this, and I'm telling you guys, mark my words, if we don't get the SAVE Act passed, then you can kiss all the stuff that Trump has done goodbye. All the good that we've seen over this past year. And that's why we need to share these videos, get out to vote, and 100% be as patriotic, America first as possible.
Way, this is phenomenally easy. In recent days, you alluded to this a minute ago. In recent days, as recently as yesterday, you had people like Hillary Clinton out there yet again trying to scare people by saying, this will disenfranchise married women who have changed their name after getting married. This is absolute paranoid fantasy. It is a lie. It is an absolute lie to say this would disenfranchise anyone, especially under those circumstances. It's the easiest thing in the world for someone under this legislation, if it became law. All you would have to do is produce the same documents everybody else does and then sign an affidavit saying, yes, following my marriage, I changed my name legally from Smith to Johnson or whatever it is. It could not be easier to prove that. It's not going to disenfranchise anyone. So look, the bottom line is we want to make our elections about actual votes cast by actual U.S. citizens rather than ballots cast by fraud, rather than ballots cast perhaps by people who don't exist, or people who have voted multiple times, or by people who are in the United States but have no right to be here, or somebody who doesn't exist to begin with.
Senator, my good friend Sean Davis over at the Federalist, a really brilliant guy, he brought this up to me in the past. He used to be on my radio show a lot, plan to have him here. But he said, listen, we never want to get to an environment in an election where trust and integrity obviously matter. It's axiomatic, where ballots win elections and not people. We don't want that. And what he's getting at is if you mass mail out ballots like they do in places like California and elsewhere, under the just really not stringent guidelines at all, anyone can grab the ballot, sign it, and return it. As long as no one reports someone voted for them, no one's ever going to know. It's almost impossible to detect. Obviously, then people will lose faith and there'll be no fidelity to process at all. And then you're in anarchy. You're just like, why have an election at all? Nobody even believes the outcome. Might as well just pick people like the commies do. That's why I think you brought that up, that the Democrats, they want to make it really easy to vote. But the second part they have a problem with, and that's what I'm worried about, is the cheating portion. And that's why I think we need to really take this seriously, because I think we're going to have a problem winning elections going forward if more states move to this mass mail out of ballots and ballot harvesting to go along with it.
Right here, everybody. 2008, Obama, 69 million votes. Then it's 2012, 65. Hillary Clinton got 65. Then, oh, wow, 81? 81 million for Joe Biden? Joe Biden's been in Congress for like 50 years. never was that popular, but he became the puppet. And then it dropped back down exponentially to Kamala Harris. What you're seeing now, guys, and this is to me, and I hope you appreciate this if you do in party state right now, and that's kind of what we're seeing. And I want to break this down because people don't realize what the heck is happening. Right now, we resisted the other team's the other team's agenda. We fundraised, and we got the majority in 2024. That's where we're at. They allowed the silent filibuster, politics as usual. We're not getting the SAVE Act done. Nothing is being codified that actually ensures free and fair elections. If we lose the majority in 2026, no voter ID law passes, and we essentially keep repeating the cycle till we become a permanent one-party state. Because I just showed you earlier, everybody, that Chuck Schumer is already saying there's 11 million people that he wants to grant mass amnesty to and give them citizenship right here. Came out this morning. Senator Chuck Schumer calls for a path to citizenship for 11 million illegal immigrants already in the United States. So if there's 11 million, I promise you, let's just for kicks and giggles, out of 11 million people, how many do you think are voting illegally? Some people would say on the low end 10%. Well, that's 1.1 million people. Do you realize how much that easily sways an election? There's elections that have only been won by 10, 11,000 votes. And then at the most, 100 to 200,000. So, hey, 1.1 million people that he's saying, just 10% of them are voting. Say 90% are the most best illegal immigrants in the world and only 10% are bad. Well, let's take it even further. Let's say that only 1% of the 11 million illegals are voting. Well, that's still 110,000 votes. Do you realize, again, we won states or Biden beat Trump in states like Georgia, Arizona, and others by 10, 11,000 votes. So there you are. There's the votes right there. This is the part where thinking logically and common sense and the Democratic Party literally saying the quiet part out loud. This guy you shouldn't even be able to fight or campaign to get citizenship for illegal immigrants because they already broke the dang law. They are already on the wrong side of the law. And all you're trying to do is give them mass handouts and make them into voters. To me, this is common sense. Redeemed Patriot, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Ruby Hoove, thank you so much for the gifted membership. If you got the free gifted membership, show Ruby Hoove some love in the chat, everybody.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I'm glad you brought up Sean Davis. Sean Davis has been an outspoken champion on this, and he's caused people to think about this issue in ways that they haven't thought about it in a long time. You just look at the outrage, the feigned outrage, the contrived outrage coming from the left on this. That by itself, even if you were in doubt as to whether we needed the SAVE Act, the Save America Act, the outrage coming from the left on this really ought to convince you that we need this bill, because the fact that they're freaking out this much, it's like they're protesting too much. They're pointing to something that is a vulnerability in their system. This is not how a normal group of people would react if there were nothing to be concerned about there. And so, yeah, we've got to watch out for that. Dan, one of the reasons why the Save America Act became necessary in the first place has to do with a combination of circumstances. In 1993, Congress passed a law called the National Voter Registration Act, the NVRA, also known as the Motor Voter Law. It makes it very easy for anyone to go into a DMV in almost any state, apply for a driver's license. And while applying for a driver's license, all you have to do is check a box and sign your name certifying, trust me, I am a U.S. citizen. I am otherwise entitled to vote. Sign me up, register me to vote as I apply for my driver's license. There were some who didn't like the law at the time, but it passed and it moved forward and people didn't freak out. But things have developed since then in such a way as to make it absolutely imperative that we have the Safe America Act. So a couple decades after it passed, the Supreme Court wrongly, but most conclusively, interpreted the NVRA so as to say that even if the state has reason to fear that it might be registering someone or a large group of people to vote through an NVRA supplied form at a DMV who are not citizens, the state still may not ask for any documentation establishing proof of citizenship. This was a stunning interpretation, and it was roundly rejected, roundly disagreed with by an aggressive dissent written by my former boss, Justice Alito. Nonetheless, the majority of the court concluded states may not seek proof of citizenship. In the meantime, at the same time that was happening, states were overwhelmingly turning to where they are now, which is where in almost every state, you can issue a driver's license to a non-citizen. And in 19 states plus DC, you can freely issue a driver's license even to a known illegal immigrant. And so all these things add up. Then you pile on top of that the fact that between 2021 and 2025, those years when Joe Biden was president, President Biden let in 10 or 15 million illegal immigrants. You add all those things together, and this is just a seething hotbed of a potential risk of fraud. So Democrats respond to all this by saying, oh, voter fraud, it almost never happens. Oh, non-citizens don't vote. These guys are making up, this is a solution in search of a problem.
Everything that you're seeing, y'all, I'm telling you, this is the number one thing that we should make sure that people know, is it doesn't matter on all the points that Trump made during the entire night of his State of the Union. CBS, 75% approve. And you know they're left wing. And guys, if you, we're just here to bring the receipts. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. If you're not a part of the family yet, hit that subscribe button so that we can serve you every day with the breaking news. So much is going on, and we like to show you all the things, a lot of things you don't see normally on mainstream media. And again, too, we also try to bring you value when it comes to the partners that we have with the channel. Chapter, we partner with them because, number one, they provide a free service to you, to those seniors on Medicare. Number two, they have saved people so much money, thousands upon thousands of dollars. And to me, with the way things are, the way taxes are, please, I want you to keep more of your hard-earned money. They provide a free service to you to compare every single Medicare plan out there. And they can do that right now. It's okay that you may have missed open enrollment, but they can actually change your coverage right now. Of the 24,000 plans nationwide, they can find you the best one, and it's free. The number is 667-895-3015. The number's in the description as well as at the bottom of the screen. Go get your blessing. Let me know about it. Put it in the comments because I love to see it, love to read it, and to show everybody that we've got to help each other out. We got to work with each other. We got to be able to bring as much value so that we can all win and keep more of our hard-earned money and use that money for you and your family. So call Chapter up. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. I want to give some special love to those that have given today. Guys, remember, when you donate on this channel, you are donating to a greater cause. The 22nd of every single month, we donate to a local charity live on stream and show you the receipt. We donate to children's homes. We donate to these foster care crisis pregnancy centers to help out these innocent kids that need support. Show Aaron B424 some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. Janice Thune, we thank you so much. The Memphis Conservative, appreciate you. PDX67 with the 5 gifted memberships. Show Richard some love in the chat, everybody. If you got a free membership, from him. Our boy Thomas Brewer, OG of the fan, faithful member. Thank you so much, brother, for your support and helping us with the kids. Donna Starino, thank you so much for your support, member of the fam. Ruby Bunge, we appreciate you. Glow 2010. Let's go. Show Glow 2010 some love in the chat. Our boy JB, Jim Barbato. Let's go. OG of the fam. Show Jim Barbato some love in the chat. Martin Gonzalez, White Mike Reacts, DL, Isle 8 on. Thank you so much, member of the channel. Show DL some love in the chat. Redeem Patriot. We appreciate you. Said the military is the only way. Interesting that Space Force is absent from the news. Black or white hat. And Trump called Space Force his baby. That's hilarious. That's a good one. Thank you so much. Cameron Capone said, Joel, most of not all marriage certificates include the maiden name of the woman. Do they really think women don't know this? It's all a big lie, but we are going to expose them. Show Cannon some love in the chat. Ruby Who, been a member for over 13 months. Let's go, baby. Show Ruby Who some love in the chat for her gifted membership as well. And White Mike Reacts, thank you so much, brother, for your support. Says CNN is posting thumbnails of Scott Jennings. They are trying to get the conservative viewers. How else is it showing up in my algorithm? Thank you for watching CNN so I don't have to. We got you, brother. Thank you so much for all y'all support. Show White Mike Reacts some love in the chat. And thank you so much for sharing our videos on X, on Facebook. We are here to serve you. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.